Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Rainbow.
And it's our second day looking at the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Ooh.
So the other day you're talking about how that made you really upset as a kid in Canada.
That's right. When I was a kid, I didn't know what the summer solstice was. It happens in the the end of June, as you guys know, June 21st. And this is why I was so angry on this day and the days around the summer solstice. Imagine this, you're a young kid, school holidays, the summer holidays just started like a week or two ago, right at the beginning or the middle of June. And there I was, 8, 9 years old, and mom's like, it's time to go to bed, Michael. And I'd be like, what time is it? And she'd say, it's 9 o'clock. And I'd be, in bed, and she's like putting me in bed or reading me a story or whatever. And I'm just like, no, this is wrong. Look, it's bright outside. The sun is up. That is baseball light. I can go to the pool. I can ride my bike. I can play baseball with my friends. It's bright out. What are we doing in bed? This does not make any sense. And so she would say, yeah, but it's still 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever time it was my bedtime. And I just didn't like it at all. I thought this was wrong. It's light outside. I gotta go play. I got stuff to do.
You had trouble falling asleep.
Of course I did. It's bright in your bedroom. So yes, I didn't like this very much until later on, you know what's going on. Of course, by July and August, it's getting dark a little bit earlier each day. So things kind of went back to normal. But that period when it was bright outside, when I was full of summertime play energy, and the sun and the time and the clock and my mom were like, no, you can look outside at the light, but you can't play in it. I thought it was very unfair.
It's so sad.
It was sad.
When you put it that way.
It was wrong.
Because we don't have that when we grow up here.
I needed a lawyer. Yeah. All right. So the summer solstice can ruin your dreams as a child, but it's still very interesting. So let's check it out. As the day of the year with the most hours of light, the summer solstice is traditionally associated with life and fertility. In many parts of the world, it represents the period when crops begin to grow after winter. For this reason, people have celebrated the day for thousands of years. For example, it is believed that Stonehenge, the giant 5,000-year-old stone circle in England, was built with the summer solstice in mind, as the structure is perfectly aligned with the sunrise on that day. All right, the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, part 2. Let's find out what's going on now.
As the day of the year with the most hours of light, the summer solstice is traditionally associated with life and fertility. Ooh, well, that makes sense. It sounds like spring and summer when things are new, people are being born, plants are being born, new life is being born. So there is that association, or it is associated with. That means something is connected to something, or when you think of one, you think of the other. When you think of summer, you think of heat. When you think of spring, you think of plants. You associate these things with each other. In your mind, you make a connection associated with. Now, people can be associated with one another too. You're like, oh yeah, Mike, isn't that your niece? Isn't that your wife? Isn't that your sister? Oh, okay. So that's it, making a connection. A sentence for you, garlic and cheese are often associated with France. That's why when we think about gourmet foods, we're like, oh, we think of Europe. We think of the French. There's an association.
I was associating garlic and cheese with bad breath. But yes, it could be associated with France. All right, back to the article. In many parts of the world, the summer solstice, represents the period when crops begin to grow after winter. True. Remember, until just a few hundred years ago, many people were farmers, so a lot of our holidays have associations with farming and the seasons and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. In a lot of parts of the world, the ground would start to get, unfrozen in April, May. You plant your seeds, and maybe by the middle to the end of June, boink, things are starting to grow. And that, of course, would continue through into the fall. So that was the beginning of the life season, beginning of the farming season. For those people, the beginning of the time of the year when they're going to have food, finally. for the first time since last year. So for this reason, people have celebrated the day for thousands of years. In the same way, we might be scared at the winter solstice. Ooh, winter's so cold and the days are getting shorter and shorter. Will the sun and the warm weather ever come back? The summer solstice was like, yeah, the sun and the warm weather came back. We're not gonna die. Woo, that's fun. Because of course they had lots of crops to eat, or the crops they were growing were beginning to show, were beginning to come up, were beginning to grow. And what are crops? Well, crops are the business of farmers. When they grow stuff in a big field, they will hopefully get a crop. We can say that's their crop, but often it's more like at the end of the summer when they cut it down, when they have that big pile of rice or that big truckload of bananas or those fields of wheat that they're ready to gather in and turn into flour and bread. That is their crop. Or if you're standing there with a farmer and there's green stuff, you can say, hey, Mr. Farmer or Mrs. Farmer, what crop is that? And they say, oh, that's rice, that's wheat, that's barley, that's sorghum.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fancy word.
The farmer's field was full of many different crops. Anything from fruit to grass, not animals, though. If you're raising cows or sheep, that is not a crop.
No,
it's something that
plants.
grows on plants, bushes, or from a field.
For example, it is believed that Stonehenge, the giant 5,000-year-old stone circle in England, was built with the summer solstice in mind, as the structure is perfectly aligned with the sunrise on that day. So you just imagine when that sun is hitting through the cracks of the windows and beaming out, and that architecture is just showing the beauty of nature.
There you go.
I believe that. It's inspired by the summer solstice.
I think several of those ancient structures are kind of lined up. The pyramids, maybe the ones in Central America.
They're so beautiful
as well. They're kind of lined up almost as a calendar, and special things happen on that longest day, what we would call June 21st. Yeah, these structures are very ancient and very mysterious and very cool. What is a structure? It's a building.
Like a building.
It's just a building. It could be a really big building like Taipei 101 or the Empire State Building.
It could be like a small tower.
It could be a little wooden hut in the forest that's used by hikers or something like that. As simple as 4 walls and a roof. As I walked through the forest, I saw a strange wooden structure in the distance.
You're not sure what it is.
And it was covered with candy. And an old witch lived in it. And I didn't go in. All right, so that brings us to the break. We'll take a quick, short little pause here, and then we will be back with more about the summer solstice in the north.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们今天要来看看不同文化的夏至庆祝活动。夏至是一年当中光照时间最长的一天，那在传统上会联想到生命还有丰饶。在世界上许多地方，它代表着在冬天过后作物开始生长的时期。因此呢，人们庆祝这一天已经有好几千年了哦。先来看单字 associate， 或是念作 associate， 它是动词，表示把什么联系、联想在一起。A be associated with B 就可以表达 A 与 B 相关 ，A 与 B 被联想在一起。单字例句提到说，大蒜和起司常和法国联想在一起。那 Rainbow 老师这时候也有提到，美食也常常会和法国联想在一起。那老师用到 gourmet food 就是指美食、美味佳肴。下一个单字 crop。crop 表示作物。Mike 老师在列举作物的时候，他有提到 wheat 是小麦。Barley 是大麦 ，sorghum 则是高粱。好，那么课文接着提到说，人们认为巨石阵 Stonehenge， 也就是英国有5000年历史的那个巨型石环，这个巨石阵在建造时有考虑到夏至，因为它的结构体跟当天的日出完美的对齐。好 ，structure 这个名词就表示结构体、建筑物或者是结构、构造。那这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 It is believed 再加 that 子句，这是表达一般认为怎么样，句型怎么样。那句型中的 it 是虚主词，真正的主词是 that 子句，它是用被动语态来表示普遍客观的立场。我们也可以把 that 子句当中的主词移到句首，然后呢之后是接不定词，这时候句型就变成主词 be believed 加上 to 加原形动词咯。好，举例来说。It is believed that the painting is over 500 years old. 也可以改写成 The painting is believed to be over 500 years old. 一般认为那幅画有超过500年的历史。第二个重点是 with something in mind， 表示考虑到什么什么。那这个片语是指说在做某事时考虑到什么，以什么为目标、理由。例如 The building was designed with sustainability in mind. 这栋建筑物的设计考虑到了永续性。好，接回到课文中。
Nowadays, many cultures still celebrate the solstice with lively events and activities. In Sweden, the solstice festival of midsummer sees many people heading out to the countryside to dance around maypoles. Similarly, in parts of Eastern Europe, the festival of Cupola Night, held near the solstice, is celebrated by decorating trees, bathing in lakes or rivers, and lighting and then jumping over large fires. But even if celebrating the solstice is not a part of your culture, acknowledging this important solar event is something anyone can do. You can do this by having an evening picnic outside, gathering summer flowers to decorate your home, or waking a little earlier to appreciate the sunrise. All right, we are back and we're still talking about the summer solstice. We just learned that in Stonehenge and many other ancient structures, they used to have ceremonies to celebrate this special longest day of the year. I think even now, special people like druids and priestesses are allowed to go to Stonehenge and they do like a little ceremony as the sun comes up every year. So if you're in that part of England around the solstice, check it out. But that's not the only thing that people do. Even today, with our knowledge of science and space and all that stuff, we still do stuff about the summer solstice.
Cool. Nowadays, many cultures still celebrate the solstice with lively events and activities.
Well, sure they're lively.
Lively.
The sun's out.
Lively is exactly like
Nice.
this, like moving around, dancing,
Active.
you know, a lot of music, yeah,
Energetic.
active, jumping around, being very energetic, like filled with life, lively. The town square becomes very lively every Saturday night. You can just imagine people are dancing, drinking, cheers, and everything. It's definitely not quiet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Night markets in Taiwan on the weekend are very lively too, I would say.
Busy and packed.
What are they doing in parts of the world to celebrate the solstice these days? Well, it says in Sweden, the solstice festival of midsummer sees many people heading out to the countryside to dance around maypoles. Dancing around maypoles is something people in Europe do as well as part of their sort of summer festival of life, festival of the beginning of the farming season, and they do that in Sweden if you're there. Similarly, in parts of Eastern Europe, the festival of Cupola Night, held near the solstice, is celebrated by decorating trees, bathing in lakes or rivers, and lighting and then jumping over large fires. I guess if you're covered in cold water from the lakes, jumping over a fire might be a good idea.
But even if celebrating the solstice is not part of your culture, acknowledging this important solar event is something anyone can do.
Absolutely. There you go. You just have to kind of appreciate that this is a very long day of the year. And it is interesting just to kind of see the difference between June 20th, June 21st, and June 22nd. You'll see the day get longer, and then it starts to get shorter as we pass the solstice, as we are halfway on our solar journey through the year.
And that just means related to the sun.
We're going around the sun.
That's right. So whatever is related to the sun could be your solar journey about talking about the sun. It could be whatever you're experiencing. But now in modern technology, solar energy includes technology that can be run by being charged on the sun. You know, those sun panels that can charge your phone or create large amounts of energy. This car runs on solar energy.
Interesting.
Good for the environment.
And solar storms can affect our internet too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, back to the article. You can do this by having an evening picnic outside. Lovely. Gathering summer flowers to decorate your home. Excellent. Or waking a little earlier to appreciate the sunrise. You'll probably have to get up quite early.
4:30?
I don't know if it's quite that early here in Taiwan,
5.
but the further you go north, the earlier you'll get up. But don't worry, this is the earliest you'll have to get up at any time of the year to see the sunrise. Then you can go back to bed because you're on summer holiday probably. So,
all right, I've got a what do you think
Yes.
question for you, Mike.
Okay.
Would you like to celebrate the summer solstice this year? And do you do that normally, you know? If so, what would you like to do?
well, I usually am aware. I kind of think it's a cool thing.
Have some performances outdoors or something?
Well, sure, if it's the weekend. You know, another nice thing would be to make sure I'm back home in Canada or somewhere even further north to really appreciate it like you did in Sweden. Maybe go to Alaska, maybe even northern Japan. I'm
That's
sure
beautiful.
up in Hokkaido, you would probably see a big difference. You'd get a lot of time, a lot of hours of sunlight that day, maybe like 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, something like that. It can
That's
really,
too much, huh?
Yeah, it can really go on, yeah. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of your solstices, celebrations, and we'll see you
care of
back
your
here.
sleep, too.
Take care of your sleep, too, and we'll see you back here very soon. Until then, all the best. Bye-bye, and we'll
Bye.
see you later.
Mike 老师刚刚在讲到巨石阵的夏至庆典时，他有提到 Druid， 常常音译为德鲁伊。那这是古凯尔特人的祭司或者是知识分子，在古代常被视为智者啊，或者是通晓魔法的术士。那么现代的德鲁伊有时会聚集在巨石阵来参加夏至庆祝活动、举行仪式等等。好，课文接着提到说，如今许多文化仍然透过热闹的盛事和活动来庆祝夏至，像是瑞典的仲夏节啊，东欧部分地区的这个伊凡库帕拉节等等。虽然庆祝夏至不是我们文化的一部分，不过呢，认可这个跟太阳有关的重要活动是任何人都可以做到的事。同学们也许可以跟家人朋友在户外野餐啊，采一点鲜花来装饰家里，或者是你可以早点起床来欣赏日出，就用你自己的方式来庆祝一年当中日照最长的这一天。我们来看单字 lively，lively 它是形容热闹的、活泼的或是精力充沛的。那么 solar 是形容太阳的，与太阳有关的。这边一个重点，我们要进入文法时间。好，这边我们来学习 even if， 表示即使怎么样，就算怎么样，是用来引导子句，强调不论情况是否成立，都不影响结果。例如 Even if it rains tomorrow, we will still go to the amusement park. 就算明天下雨，我们还是会去游乐园。那比较一个用法是 even though， 表示虽然即使。那是用在已发生的事实或肯定的情况，强调即使某事成立，还是有这样的结果。那注意它是 though 的强调用法。例如 Even though it rained, we still had fun at the amusement park. 虽然下雨，我们还是在游乐园玩得很开心。好，那以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
As the day of the year with the most hours of light, the summer solstice is traditionally associated with life and fertility. In many parts of the world, it represents the period when crops begin to grow after winter. For this reason, people have celebrated the day for thousands of years. For example, it is believed that Stonehenge, the giant 5,000-year-old stone circle in England, was built with the summer solstice in mind, as the structure is perfectly aligned with the sunrise on that day. Nowadays, many cultures still celebrate the solstice with lively events and activities. In Sweden, the solstice festival of midsummer sees many people heading out to the countryside to dance around maypoles. Similarly, in parts of Eastern Europe, the festival of Cupola Night, held near the solstice, is celebrated by decorating trees, bathing in lakes or rivers, and lighting and then jumping over large fires. But even if celebrating the solstice is not a part of your culture, acknowledging this important solar event is something anyone can do. You can do this by having an evening picnic outside, gathering summer flowers to decorate your home, or waking a little earlier to appreciate the sunrise.
Hey, 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 it's KiWi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
Today, do you know what we're gonna do?
No, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna work on some pronunciation, okay?
Oh.
And we're going to focus on...
CH, TH, and SH sounds.
So let's check it out.
Let's go.
Okay, we are going to work on some pronunciation. So, please read the sentence for me.
The girl is so shy.
The girl is so shy.
The girl is so shy.
The girl is so shy. That's right. Thank you. And let's see. The next one is...
You should brush your teeth now.
You should brush your teeth now.
You should brush your teeth now.
You should brush your teeth now. All right. What did we learn today?
Today we're going to be comparing TH with SH sounds. Our first sentence is, the girl is so shy. For the word shy, we see an SH at the beginning. So, like we go to the library, we have to be quiet. So you'll notice that air is coming out of the mouth. Shh, just like shower. Our next word is a TH word. So you should brush your teeth now. Here we'll focus on the word teeth. T-E-E-T-H. So just like when we say thank you, you'll notice that your tongue is coming out. Th, and pushing air out. You should brush your teeth now. Okay, and now I have a little bit of homework for you. We have a tongue twister that you can practice at home. The thief threatened Sherry with those 3 shovels. That's all for today. KiWi later.